Hi everyone, my name is Jharna and welcome to my channel Journalist. So when I became a mom over 7 years ago, my interest in nutrition peaked because I was always worried about what I was putting into my children's bodies. Along my parenting journey, I made a lot of mistakes and learned from them. I also studied and educated myself on child nutrition. So today I'm going to share with you the top 10 things you should stop feeding your children. One important disclaimer, the motive of this video is not to shame or blame parents. My children have had several of the things I will be mentioning in this list, but because I've educated myself, I haven't let any of them become regular parts of their diet or habit forming. I strongly believe that the habits we form during childhood, particularly dietary habits, stay with us for the rest of our lives, and they also lead to the preferences and cravings we have during adulthood. That's why the motive of this video is simple. Is to create awareness so that we as parents can limit the number of times our children have these and offer them healthier alternatives when possible. So let's get started. First up on the list is processed cheese. Well, cheese is supposed to be healthy, right? I mean calcium, protein, plus the fact that all children seem to love cheese.
Did someone say cheese?
Well, not all cheese is healthy. In fact, some of what is called cheese isn't even really cheese. It's just a fraction of cheese mixed with a whole bunch of synthetic ingredients. The major difference between processed cheese and natural cheese is that natural cheese has the whey, that's the watery part of the milk, pressed out of them, whereas processed cheese does not. Natural cheeses are made with simple ingredients, just good quality milk, salt, and enzymes. Processed cheese, on the other hand, have a longer shelf life because they use preservatives and stabilizers to achieve that. They also use emulsifiers and flavor enhancers. So your best bet at differing between natural cheese and processed cheese is by looking at the ingredient list. Processed cheeses like cheese slices or processed cheese cubes also are high in sodium and trans fats. So the key is to opt for either fresh or aged natural cheeses. Some examples are fresh mozzarella, parmesan, cheddar, ricotta. The next thing that you should not offer your children on a regular basis is juice. And the reason why is because fruit is not equal to juice. It doesn't matter if it's 100% or if it's without any added sugar or if it's freshly squeezed juice. Juice is basically a fruit stripped of all its fiber, its minerals, its vitamins and enzymes. And all that's left behind are the naturally occurring sugars. Fruit juice reaches the stomach too quickly, and the overload of fructose can lead to high levels of uric acid, whereas when you eat the whole fruit, the enzymes help the breakdown of fructose, sucrose, and glucose. Regular consumption of fruit juice by children only provides empty calories, which can lead to childhood obesity. So in short, offer your child the whole fruit on a daily basis. Again, this is not to say that having juice occasionally will cause any great harm to your children. And even my children do have juice on occasions, like especially while we're traveling or at a party, but definitely not on a daily basis. I'll link to a blog post in the description box where I've spoken about how and when you should offer fruit to children. The next thing on my list that you should not offer your children is sodas and sports drinks. This is pretty much a no-brainer, but I had to include it in my list. The reason why aerated drinks and sports drinks are a no for children is because of the brominated vegetable oil in them, which can cause bromine toxicity that can affect children's nervous systems, their skin, and their memory. Sodas and sports drinks are also high in calories and sugars. Aerated drinks and other sugar-sweetened beverages can lead to childhood obesity, diabetes, and aggressive behavior in children. They can also cause tooth decay and calcium depletion. Colas that contain caffeine in them can affect your child's developing brain. The next thing on my list that you shouldn't offer children are packaged frozen finger foods. Too many children have too many packaged frozen finger foods like Smileys, French fries, chicken nuggets, cheese balls, etc. Children love the taste of them and parents like them because they're convenient to store and quick to prepare. Unfortunately, these can be very harmful for your child's health. Most of these packaged frozen finger foods are made with hydrogenated palm oil, which have harmful trans fats in them. In addition to this, they are also heavy-handed on the salt. These frozen foods are also laden with preservatives like starch and corn syrup, which can be cancer causing. A better bet would be to prepare homemade snacks that can be frozen and then used for convenience. Let me know if you'd like me to share some recipes of snacks that can be prepped and frozen, and I will make a video on those. The next thing on my list that you should not offer your children regularly are most malt-based health drinks. Now, these powders that are marketed as health drinks aren't very healthy at all. They will not make your child grow stronger or taller faster, nor are they the secret of your child's energy. India is the largest consumer of most malt-based health drinks, and they are specifically targeted at children. Whether it is Boost, Milo, Horlicks, Complan, Bournvita, all of these big names contain largely the same set of ingredients which are not good for your children. Apart from the malt, which is a derivative of some kind of cereal, all these powders are overloaded with sugar. And aside from the sugar, they contain emulsifiers, food colors, edible oils, flavoring agents, raising agents, stabilizing agents, and the like. Now, one reason parents tend to offer these powders to their children is because of claims of added nutrients, vitamins, minerals, DHA, blah blah. But in reality, these artificially added vitamins and minerals are not easily assimilated or absorbed into our body. So it's much better to acquire all these minerals and vitamins from natural food produce. An argument that I've heard so often from parents is that they offer their children these powders because without them their child wouldn't drink milk. Now, my answer to that would be, then don't force your child to have milk. Your child can get the same nutrition from other dairy products or other non-dairy products, whether it is calcium or any other nutrient. My children, for example, drink plain milk with absolutely nothing in it. And that too, we offer it to them when they ask for it, which is usually during breakfast. Otherwise, we don't insist. If at all you must add something to your children's milk, you can always make a powder at home with some dry fruits. Or you can opt for one of the genuinely healthy mixes that are available in the market. Or you could even occasionally offer some hot chocolate made with some good quality cocoa. Before we move ahead, I just wanted to say that if you're finding this video helpful, please do give me a thumbs up and mention in the comments what are those foods that you make it a point not to offer to your children. I also have a series on child nutrition on Instagram, which I will link to in the description box if you'd like to check that out. Next up on my list is fondant. Now, cake art is a big thing, and who can deny that fondant cakes look amazing? You have realistic, customized representations of any theme or idea under the sun. They are so visually appealing and lifelike that you can't blame children for getting sucked in. Fondant is of course edible, which technically means you can eat it, but it's actually just mostly pure sugar, water, corn syrup, and some gelatin or glycerin added to it. It's absolutely unhealthy for kids, or anyone for that matter. Apart from that, it also tastes pretty repulsive and even dries out the cake underneath. It also has a lot of food coloring, which I will come to in a minute. So what is the alternative? How can you let your child have a beautiful birthday cake and not take the joy out of their birthday? Well, there are a lot of bakers nowadays that bake with fresh cream and better quality ingredients that are relatively better for you and your child. Also, when it comes to artistic toppers, you can opt for fondant toppers and then discard them. But what happens at parties is that children tend to whisk them away and start eating them. So it's better to opt for actual toy figurines that your child can play with afterwards. The next thing on my list is food coloring. Now, we've often heard that children eat in color. Bright colored food is obviously more attractive and appealing to them. But all those bright colorful candies, cereals, frostings and sports drinks often contain food dyes which are actually very harmful for children. Many of the food products that are popular with children in India contain banned or illegal food dyes and food colors in them. And even if they are food colors that are technically not banned, they are prevalent way beyond their permissible limits. Some food colors like red 40, yellow 5, yellow 6 and blue 1 have been linked to hyperactivity and inattentiveness in children. They are also known for aggravating conditions like ADHD or asthma, and they can affect the functioning of your child's liver and kidney. Not only that, a lot of these food dyes can cause allergic reactions in your child and even act as carcinogens. So, for colorful food, it's best to rely on all the colorful fruits and vegetables that nature provides us. Next up on my list, processed meat. Sausages, bacon, hot dogs, salami. Now, if you're a non-vegetarian like my family and I are, then chances are you'll find all of the above quite yummy, and I don't blame you. But the truth is that all processed meat has been proven to increase the risk of heart disease, cancer, diabetes, and other chronic illnesses. Processed meat basically refers to any kind of meat that has been treated either to flavor it or to preserve it. This could be through salting, through curing, through smoking, etc. It is the nitrates in it and the high levels of sodium in processed meat that make it a cause for concern. Children tend to take to processed meat very easily because of its texture and how palatable it is to them. But despite how convenient it may seem, it's best not to offer them processed meat regularly, especially so that they're saved from any serious consequences later in life. Next up, microwave popcorn. Now, popcorn itself makes for a healthy snack because it's just corn and air, right? Well, that is true, but the same does not apply to the popcorn available in a microwavable bag. Microwave popcorn is extremely high in saturated fat and sodium. Not only that, the bag itself is lined with harmful chemicals like PFOA, which is known to cause cancer, infertility, and hinder childhood development. These harmful chemicals can easily leach into the actual popcorn while it is being microwaved. Microwave popcorn also contains a chemical called diacetyl, which is what gives it its utterly buttery flavor and intoxicating aroma. Now, this chemical has been linked to lung disease when you inhale it regularly. In addition to that, microwave popcorn also contains various oils and emulsifiers which have GMO ingredients in them, which can cause a host of health problems. Now, since almost every child loves popcorn, what are the alternatives we have? Well, one option is to use store-bought popcorn that can be cooked on the stove, either in a pressure cooker without a whistle or in a pot with a lid. An even healthier option is to just use regular corn kernels and then add your own oil or butter and seasonings on top of it. And when it comes to the cooking method, the most ideal option would be to put them in a regular oven and pop them without any oil or butter, and those can be added on top afterwards along with the seasoning. Last but not least, what I've added to my list are chips, biscuits, and instant noodles. Now, the reason I've clubbed these three together is because in our country, they are the most commonly offered snacks to children. My children have biscuits and chips on occasions, especially at parties or while traveling, etc. But it's important to not make a regular habit of these. Some of the things that these bad boys have in common are saturated fats, high levels of sodium and sugar, refined flour, a whole bunch of chemicals like glycol, MSG, vagera, and a long list of preservatives. If consumed regularly, all of these can wreak havoc with your child's gut, liver, and kidney. They can cause vision problems, allergic conditions, nervous disorders, and diabetes and obesity. When it comes to biscuits, cookies, or even munchies, the best option is, of course, to cook them at home, where you have an option to choose ingredients that are healthier for your children. It could be whole grains or millets, a healthier sweetener, or a healthier fat source as well. And even when it comes to store-bought brands, there are healthier alternatives available in the market. So always do your due diligence and check the ingredient list. I'll also be sharing brands that you can trust for your children's diet in an upcoming video, so stay tuned for that. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so you don't miss out on any upcoming video of mine. I'll be back with another helpful video next week. Till then, stay safe and take care.